Our first award this evening is usually presented by Ted Rubenstein, the brother of our late executive director, Michael Rubenstein. Regretfully, Ted is unable to be here this evening, but the award is named in Michael's honor and is given to someone who has made a lasting impact on local, state, or a national level. Tyrone Keys, a member of the Hall of Fame class of 2009, is this year's winner. 25 years ago, this 7-year NFL veteran established the All-Sport Community Service Incorporated. Since that time, ASCS has raised millions of dollars to aid those looking for mentors in both the Tampa Bay and the Mississippi areas. ASCS is a way to highlight the power of educators to bring a multicultural, intergenerational mentor model to bear fruit for families, communities, and the world. At an early age, Tyrone recognized those that helped him along his path to manhood. Now he is working to provide mentorship and guidance to those young people in need of a push in the right direction. Tyrone is the 7th to receive this award, joining former winners Dave Boo Ferris, Ben Puckett, Archie Manning, George Bryan, Governor William Winter, and Ron Polk. Tyrone continues to connect with the roots from his beginnings to the present time.
This necessitates an excellent teacher to terminate her services with a given school system. As was the case of Mrs. Mary W. Hagan, a Jackson Public School elementary teacher in a predominantly black school, who was greeted with tears from her class of mixed pupils when they were informed that she was leaving. And in questioning some of the children as to why the sadness, they responded with, "She taught us and we learned, she loved, she respected us." She had to sustain her emotions when she entered her classroom Friday morning to find, written on her blackboard, "You have certainly helped my people." This was written by the janitor. On her last day of service, Mrs. Hagan gave to all her pupils and their parents an original writing by her entitled "Love Is." An excerpt from it reads, "Love is knowing your students love you. Love is being honest with one another. And to aid the teacher who is to replace her Monday," she wrote, "love is a new teacher next Monday." Mrs. Hagan will continue her services as a public school teacher in the Baton Rouge public school system this year.
I can't believe this phone call.
Why is that? I'm telling you, it's been how many years?
Since 1970, so that's quite a while.
Tyrone Keys, a former Mississippi State football player, came back to this his hometown, his native town, met with the school that he went to, the elementary school, met with kids and spoke to them about believing and achieving, and it's a really inspirational story behind Tyrone. But it's not solely Tyrone's story, it's a lesson and a living lineage and how sometimes the smallest people can make the largest lasting impact. As a football player, Tyrone Keys' journey led him through SEC domination at Mississippi State and Super Bowl glory in the NFL. Yet through all of his triumphs and success, he never forgot about this woman, Mary Hagan, Keys' 6th grade teacher. The teacher to whom he owed so much had no awareness of the impact she had made.
She expanded our awareness of what the possibilities could be. And over the years, I always thought about her.
To be honest with you, I did not know, I have a clue that this impact had reached the level it did until after we started talking.
What makes Mrs. Hagan and our story so different is because of the circumstances and because of the fact that she could have said, "Adios, I'm gone," in 1971 in Jackson, Mississippi, and in the heart of the heat of the civil rights movement, and her compassion for us and her courage to travel back and forth from this community to her community, I just never forgot it.
You know, back in our era, when Martin Luther King had that famous quote, "It's not the content of your skin, but the content of your character," she came in and she represented what true character is.
After 47 years, I still had the class roll. And for a reason I cannot explain, I had a small mark next to Tyrone's name. I also had the copy of the poem I had left for them.
And then down at the end of the line, she mentioned love is when one of your students come to visit. Now, I'm here. It took me 39 years, but I'm here.
I can't believe this is happening after talking to Tyrone a few weeks ago, and he said he could make this happen, and he had found you, and this is unbelievable. It really is. I mean, to go back and to be able to talk to your sixth grade teacher, and that's something. I mean, after all these years, that's really something. Because I never would in a million years thought this would happen. We learned a lot from you. I talk about you to this day. I'm gonna tell you, Miss Hagan, you definitely left an impression on me.
We had no idea what part we were playing in history, did we?
No, we did not.
At the time. It's a good thing we'd have probably turned and run the other way or something. But it all worked out. It all worked out.
Well, you're a special person with a big heart, with one of those kinds of love, for
Yeah.
people, for your students. I think that just speaks for people, just has an impact on people.
Well, it's just wonderful hearing from you.
Oh, same here.
One of the students that I so much admired when I went to Tampa was a young man named LeBron. He was in a wheelchair. He had been in a terrible car accident, had a lot of adversity issues to deal with. And he told me this story while we were at Tampa Digital preparing some of these videos, that he had to stay in the hospital for a long time after this car accident. And he had a lot of nurturing at the hospital. The nurses were very good to him, as well as all the other people. But finally the day came for him to go home. And so he was sitting in his apartment in the dark, hot, wondering, what's going to happen to me? Well, it just so happened that Tyrone and his wife had gone out to eat. And at the restaurant, they ran into one of his nurses who said, we know a young man that needs your help. So he said, well, do you have a phone number? So the nurse gave him the phone number, but they said, we've been trying to reach him for quite a while, and the number doesn't work anymore. So Tyrone went home, dialed that number, it worked. This young man answered the phone, so sad and gloomy. And Tyrone said, hey, what you doing in the morning? Nothing. He said, how about eating breakfast with me? I said, oh, well, that's great. So the next morning, this young man who had nothing was eating breakfast with the Buccaneers. This young man won the Volunteer of the Year award with the Buccaneers this past year for his service with All Sports Community Service.
One of the movers and shakers for the group is an inspiration all by himself. An accident the summer before his senior year of high school might have confined LeBron Saffel to a wheelchair, but it hasn't stopped him. He returned to King High School, where he was elected class president his senior year, and after graduation, met Tyrone Keys. Now, he heads up the Quest mentoring program at his alma mater.
Will Allen from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, he helps me run the program. And basically, our goal is to teach students academic achievement.
We're an extension of All Sports Community Service, which is ran by Tyrone Keys. And,
Sure.
He's just been helping us. And, this Christmas for the holidays, we're going to feed 100 families. And, it's just going to be huge. Just the things that we're doing and just trying to, like I said, inspire and motivate the kids and help build the community. So.
Today, LeBron is at King High School meeting with Quest students, an organization he heads up. The idea to help students find their way.
Twice a week, Saffel and Gaines work together to keep Billy on his academic track.
He has so much potential, but he doesn't see that in himself.
He's been teaching me things that outside of the classroom that I know
that I won't get in some of my subjects. And I want them to really, really understand the concept of giving back and helping someone else.
And if they look to LeBron, they will see the power of love and hope and faith.
What an example of the power of love. One teacher, one student, a future of many, many possibilities. Wow.